Hey, it's Werner, and you're listening to Finding Frequency. I'm going to kick off with the extraordinary right at the beginning of the episode. And if I'm struggling to talk, it's because I've been eating a ton of Haribo, my favorite gummies. So I might be on a little bit of a sugar rush, but then also in a very good mood thanks to said sugar. Extraordinary. I got to have a short conversation with a good friend of mine today. I haven't spoken to her in quite a while. She is a executive producer, very used to running huge events, award-winning actually. And, we met each other at the College of Extraordinary Experiences and just had a great conversation. Martha and I clicked with her from the get-go. And it's funny that when you meet someone out of their context, you don't always realize how experienced and kind of how deep their expertise actually go, because you kind of meet them out of the context of their environment. Now, I had this kind of idea recently thinking about people that I would like to have on my live stream, and I kind of reached out to her because a lot of the work that I'm doing in the live stream is really related to getting people in who are designing something. And design is a very broad thing. It could be designing your career, designing your social media, designing innovation. And she's definitely the organizer and designer of events. And I asked her today how the pandemic has impacted her. Of course, it goes without saying that she said that one of the first things she noticed is that around her, a lot of her colleagues and the whole industry just started kind of crumbling as, in-person events started fading away. Luckily, she made a bit of a change in her approach in her career or in her business. She's an entrepreneur. And she embraced this virtual event space from the get-go. So she's like, I mentioned to her, in fact, today, we can collaborate. Maybe there's some leads in it for her. And she said, Vanna, I don't want no leads. I've got enough work. And how cool is that? But the thing that I thought was relevant, and perhaps also relevant to you listening to this, that I liked what she said, is that she believes, and I kind of like the way that she reframed the approach to the impact of the pandemic, because I think a lot of people go very extreme. So, for example, in the event space, people go out and say, hey, in-person events are dead. It's all going to be virtual, or this word that I kind of don't like so much, hybrid. But that's not entirely true, because what I'm seeing is that people are clamoring to get back to events like crazy. And of course, there's a lot of people like myself who go, I'd rather go for the virtual thing. I mean, I'd rather go to an event, see things, and then hang out with Francie afterwards. And also, perhaps, big consideration, not get into a plane and destroy the damn environment, flying everywhere. Now, enough about that. The way that she defined the opportunity was, in the past, and this is super true, I've seen it myself, that when people host events, they kind of know what they want. They don't want to know about strategy, about target audience, about objectives. They just want, I want biscuits over there. I want like 5 people on stage. I want this event to happen. And what she noticed, and I must say I agree with that, I've seen it in my world as well, is that there is more of an eagerness to have a design conversation when the pandemic hit, because people weren't sure about what's going to happen next. They weren't as confident about what they need to do. And I think the fact that they had to revisit what they knew and go through some kind of design process to think about, what am I trying to achieve? What is my return on investment? What is the audience I want to serve? What is the message I want to create? What is the change I want to try and drive? That kind of questions, before we start thinking about the color of the curtains. That is the things that she sees might stay after our little shared pandemic experience. And I really hope that that's true. At the very least, I hope that it's going to be easier for us to have that creative strategy conversation with our clients going forward. I mean, I know for a fact that I'm currently working on a project or a pitch or business pitch where we are kind of selling the design process. I mean, and I'm also hesitant to use the design process because a lot of people think design is a recipe. It's not a recipe. It's just a framework. It's just the kind of context that you work in. You still need to add your own vibe to it. You still need to observe clients, make conclusions, and for Pete's sakes, also take some time to reflect, not rush through it. Think about things. Sit like my cousin in Cape Town. Sit back with a glass of wine and consider the things that you've seen. Let the creativity flow, for Pete's sakes. It's not a recipe. But I'm hoping that post-pandemic, if there is even such a thing, that people are going to be more receptive to the design process. And whatever happens after that, if we go full-on in-person events, hybrid for Pete's sakes, or just virtual, doesn't really matter. Let's go through the design process. Spend some time to make this thing unique. And I'll leave you with this. It's not about giving people what they want. It's about giving them something better. That should be the objective. So extraordinary conversation leading to extraordinary day. And then, of course, I'm super excited. Francie and Martha's on their way back. And they should be back here to terrorize me. But I'm super excited to have them back. And, of course, the other highlight is the fact that I had to have a quick walk this morning to go and fetch coffee. So coffee is stocked up, back in action. I'm rearing to go for my third cup of the day. Am I overdoing it? Perhaps yes. But I'll leave you with this. Thank you for listening.